the good New Mexico State Representative Cathrynn Brown.
Yeah, let's leave on this note because this is just stunning. But this note is this is pretty impressive. Now, Cliff, you know this is coming on the heels of their trust retreat that they had with other Republicans, right?
Down at the plantation.
Right. Yes, at a former slave plantation, they were basically told, please stop talking about rape. Please. It's just there's no upside to you talking about rape. And then literally
talk about something better, like scurvy.
A day later, now apparently this Republican lawmaker did not get the word. And to be fair, this is not a member of Congress. She's
only a state rep, and Alec may not have kicked in the money for her to go to this thing.
That's right. She may not have been invited to the plantation for the soul searching, but as
we talked about last time, for the channeling of Jefferson Davis's ghost for some policy ideas.
There you go.
For how the Republican Party, which they seem to be channeling very well in Virginia, I might say.
Now, her name is Cathrynn Brown. Is that it?
Her name is Cathrynn Brown. She introduced a bill. She's in New Mexico, state representative.
House Bill 206.
It would legally require victims of rape to carry their pregnancies to term, get this, in order to use the fetus as evidence for a sexual assault trial. So I guess you need the fetus to prove you were assaulted somehow. I'm not really sure how that works. I am not a doctor, although apparently neither are Republicans.
So in other words, if you cannot have an abortion because you would be tampering with evidence.
That's right.
Of from your being raped. I mean, this is now the bill is not going to pass, right? Because Democrats have a majority in both houses of.
Basically, this makes the transvaginal ultrasound look like something the ACLU would propose.
But how demented are these people? I mean, these people are just warped.
Well, but you know what this, you've spoken to a friend of mine, I think, on your show, and as well as part of Ring of Fire, Tracy Weitz, who's an activist on abortion
spoke to her
rights.
This week.
And as she often talks about, and others in the abortion rights movement, that it's not about, when they try to make it like it's about children and there's, and they say, oh, it's murder. It's about women's sexuality. It always is. It's about their ickiness, their fear of women's sexuality. Because if it wasn't, you wouldn't be having this. They wouldn't be able to constantly stuck on rape. They wouldn't constantly be stuck on birth control. They're always on these issues because it just seems like they can't get this out of their heads. They just are, just the way gays just is something that they're all freaked out by. These old white guys who are still threatened by that. They're also threatened by women's sexuality.
I think,
and again, this may be a woman, but whatever. She's
right. Well, she buys into the same patriarchal notion. She
has,
that she's been told by her husband, whatever it is. But the other point that Tracy Weitz
don't look at me until the sheet is fully removed,
right,
and I'm out of the room.
The other point that Tracy Weitz makes is that, for a lot of times for these conservatives, they have no other legislation that they can bring up that will be functional in any way. And so this is a way of basically placating their base. I mean, this woman knows that this bill's never going to pass. But the value of talking about it is, in fact, this is where the stuff that we see, like the transvaginal probes, this is where the personhood amendments 6 years ago, we were talking about this stuff in the same way. This is a freak show. This is marginal. It can never happen. And then we start to see that it actually does.
Same thing with Social Security. Yep. Same thing with many other things. I mean, It's kind of like what we said is the value of having President Obama and others stand up and speak out on issues, is because by speaking about them, you make them possible, even if the first time people dismiss them. Well, sadly, it works that way on the crazy right, too, and they've been doing it for 30 years now. Because, again, Ronald Reagan, their saint, had he run in this past election, would have seemed a lot like John Huntsman, or perhaps a little bit to the left of him.
Yes.
The guy that was unacceptable to them because he was too much of a moderate. That's what you would have been looking at. I think actually he would have been thinking about policy-wise, he would have been somewhat more moderate than John Huntsman. And, that's how they push this agenda. So, yeah, you're right. This woman people laugh at, and you and I mock her because we need to, because she's crazy. But at the same time, she's brought this up. And I promise you, for the next year or two, some other obscure state legislator somewhere, maybe not, maybe a Louis Gohmert type, cartoon character in Congress will do it. But that's how the birther stuff started, too, and other things like that.
Yep. You're absolutely right. I would guarantee it.